What's going on, everybody? Rob here, aka Jack of all trades and Mr. Biting off more than I could chew. What's going on, everybody? Rob here, aka Trev2323. Today we are revisiting sealing these front stairs. Okay, you can see I hydraulic cemented it. There was nothing there. There was just dirt coming through, so that's hydraulic cement. And you see the stains, the water stains. See the water stains still? Okay, now I'm gonna take you upstairs. See this crack? I really gotta put a support beam under there. I really, because you see the crack? So maybe I put that support beam today, but let me show you what I'm doing today. Oh, and right here. Look how bad that is. This is the concrete. This is what holds the concrete upstairs up. And it's just rotting away because this water crack right here. So I'm gonna put a 2x12, a 2x6 across here with 3/4 inch plywood to make a wall to hold that up. But let's show you how to seal it from the outside now. All right, now this is the stairs from the front of the house, and this is the crack step. And this was sealed a long time ago right here with a vinyl patch, but it just cracks over time. This is mortar. And I gotta try to get in close, because see that little crack in there? Over time it separates. This is what's leaking. And let me show you down here. When I fixed underneath right here, and the little line in there is what's leaking. So all this got to be cracked up. But since this is sloping that way, I'm gonna actually build up mortar around here and put a thicker bead right here. So you don't want the water to sit on it that way. You want the water to always come away from your house. Now where I got to put that wall at, this right here is coming up. You see this right here? I can break all this out now. See? And there's the hole right there, the gap. But let me tell you this. This sat there for about 25 years. This really did a good job. This was the concrete crack sealer. It's in a big gray bottle, or a big bottle clear that's gray. This is concrete crack sealer. It sat there for like 20 years in there. All right, and all that got to be re-tuck pointed again. So for right now, my goal is to seal these stairs, because I'm tired, especially this bottom. This bottom one is the main one that's leaking. This bottom one right here and that line right there. So this bottom one, I'm gonna tuck point. I'm not gonna use vinyl patch. I got plaster. I'm gonna tuck point this with plaster. But the top one, I have now this quick right commercial grade self-leveling sealant that I'm gonna fill in here. Okay, and why I'm using that is because it's just new technology. I don't know if this technology changed, but this did last a long time. Let me tell you that. So when you break this out right here, I'm gonna do this one first. I'm gonna break all this out and then vacuum this really good, and then I'm gonna put this in here from the top going down, because it's self-leveling, so it's gonna go downward anyway. So from the top going down, I'm gonna put that in there first, and then I'll start breaking. See all the cracks in it? I'm gonna start breaking all those cracks out. And sometimes you use just one day of cracking it out. The bad thing is it's like 30 to 40% chance of rain all week long. So I'm gonna start cracking all that out so I can redo that. But I'm gonna redo that not with the vinyl patch. I'm gonna do that actually with mortar. Okay, now I tuck pointed all this right here, but I didn't do the top part right there to level it. So I gotta do the top part right there, and I gotta take the gutter spout out to finish this right in here to grind out. Now let me show you this. This is almost ready to grind. It's not fully ready to grind. See, I went about 3/4 of an inch in, but let me show you why it's not ready to grind. You see, it's not to the brick. This is to the brick. So when you put your new mortar, it's gonna stick on the brick. This right here is old mortar, and this can actually crack off and crack your new joint. So what you want to do is, you want to see right here, you want to get the disc on the brick and have all just the brick exposed, and your new mortar is going to stick on the brick. So I got about another hour of grinding this out before I go ahead and tuck it. Now I could tuck it like this, I can, it's ready to be tucked, but I want to get everything down to the brick like this right here. See that? If water gets in that, it's gonna crack that and mess up the new joint. So let me start breaking this up over here. Okay, Now this is overkill right here to get this out right here, but this is what I use right here. Let me get you down right. See, when I crack all the rest of this out, this is what I use right here. And then you can, I'm gonna vacuum it out and then put some more mortar in there. You could grind it out if you want to also, but I just thought it's harder to get the angle grinder in there. You go down also. And then so what you want to do is you want to get all this clean for the new mortar. So that's what I use for that. So this right here, after I get all this out, then I got the vacuum over there to vacuum it out. I had a shovel right here. I got to go get probably a flathead screwdriver because all this has to come out. This needs to be completely clean. Let me go get a flathead screwdriver. Actually, I got my knife on me. So I started on that little crack. Wound up cracking up everything along the base of the stairs. Okay, and I decided to stop here. I cracked all along right here so I could get a good corner in there. I still want to crack this bottom part off right here because I cracked the bottom part off right there. And this is, I got in as far as I can, and now I got to clean and vacuum all this. Now I'm not gonna break this out right now. This is a separate stage because that is the cracked stair. So for right now, the epoxy, the self-setting sealant that I'm putting in here, all I'm gonna do is get like a spatula or something, and I'm gonna smooth it all over these cracks right here and these cracks right here for now. Because since I broke off so much of that, and you see I didn't break off the top part of it, that's a crack step. I don't want it to fall in. And why I didn't go further on these is because I don't want to start getting cracks in this. There's a little bit cracks in there, so I don't want to start. That's a whole different thing, a whole different grinding out, a whole different everything. So I'm gonna fill in everything I could fill in. And I didn't think I was gonna have to mix as much mortar as I'm going to have to mix, but I'm gonna sweep all this up right now. Then I'm gonna vacuum everything out, and then I'm gonna start mixing the mortar. Okay, it's all vacuumed out. I'm not gonna use 80 pounds of mortar. I'm probably gonna mix maybe 30 or 40 pounds of mortar, but there's a lot of big gaps to fill in here. The property I'm gonna do at this point, this is 110 years old, have all these taken out and reset, because this is a 110-year-old house. But for me and my income, until I make that good YouTube money that I'm hoping to make, I'm gonna fill in all this right here and fill in all these gaps and use the silicone for right here, not the silicone but the crack sealant for right there and right here, because I've never used it before, but it's to level out and self-sealing cracks, self-leveling and self-sealing cracks. So then I'm gonna mix the epoxy. So I'm gonna put that down first, and then I'm gonna use that, mix up about 30 or 40 pounds of mortar and start tucking. So let me get everything, get this ready and get some paper towels and rubber gloves. Okay, if you're gonna use the caulk gun, have paper towels, gloves, and get yourself a caulk gun with this. It makes a huge difference. So this little hole on the side of your caulk gun, you use it because that cuts off your tip. This is for the caulk gun because that breaks the seal on the inside of it. Okay, so that's why it's a little more money, worth its weight in gold. Okay, cut it off at a little angle so you can get your good bead, and then get it ready to go. That's why it says have a paper towel with you. I don't know how good I could get you in the picture right here, but see there's a little crack right here, so I'm gonna start with that little crack to fill in right there. Oh man, this came out a lot thinner than I thought it would come out. Okay, so thumbnail. Would I use this for a deep crack? No. This is the width of the crack that it said you could use it for. But look what happened on the deep crack. It went all the way down in there. For the shallower crack, perfect. For the deep crack, oh my god, it went down in there and it kind of sunk in that one, and that's not too deep either. So maybe it was too warm. But the one thing I always keep with me is I do keep a little brush with me. I always have a little brush. This got red in it. To try to get it in some of the cracks. Trying to see if it's stiffening up any. It's supposed to be self-leveling, so that's why I don't mind getting it. Now I'm going to put a second coat on this. Like a second filling. Because that's good right there, but this is horrible, just horrible. So let's go down here, because now it should fill in here, and I'm going to paint over this also. But this is the one with the bird poop on it. Why does that look red? Because that's the last thing I used this for, was red. Okay, so let me put some of that on here, and I could get another paintbrush. I think I got a clear one over here. I got a clear one. So since that's opened already, I'm gonna have to put a second coat in there when it tacks up. I'm gonna fill in a thick bead right here. Alright, force one of these to buy one of these for your concrete. It's so worth it. My battery's about to die. I have about 30 pounds of concrete, maybe 20 pounds of concrete right here. Not concrete, mortar. This is so easy to mix, you could do it by hand. That's still a little bit too wet. Alright, let me get some gloves and a hawk. This is what's called a hawk right here. This right here is what you put your mortar on. This is what you tuck it with, get a whole bunch of different sizes. I'm going to use this for the bottom because I want the bottom to be nice and thick. Alright, I'm going to do the bottom first, just in case it does rain. This is actually kind of thick, but that's almost the bead I want, so I'm going to need a lot more mortar. So right now I'm going to get the corner filled in. You see that? I'm going to get the corner filled in right now. As much as you need to get all the way tucked in there. If you got to use your gloves, your fingers, your hands, get it as far in there as you can. Look at that joint right there. I gotta get way more mortar because this is what I want. I want it to be angled where the water comes down and goes away. So I gotta get in here also. I stepped right there. The rest of it, this right here, don't try to smooth it down. Don't try to anything. Just right here, Just let it sit there and let it dry, and then you can sweep it away. If you keep trying to move that in and move that in, it's gonna stain to here. Just let it sit and dry, and then you can sweep it away. This part I did a little bit with the paintbrush. I did a little bit by hand, but mostly with the trowel. I did mostly with the trowel. Sometimes, like if I get a little thing where it looks like it didn't seal all the way, I'll push it in a little bit. I'm no expert. I just don't want water leaking in my basement. All right, so it's done right there. The whole thing, everything is done. Took me about 3 hours to break it out with the hammer and tuck point it. I really didn't like this stuff. This stuff isn't completely dry yet. See that crack right there? Any crack you got, water's gonna sit in there, and you're in the Midwest, it's gonna go ahead and crack. All right, but all this little stuff, you just leave it, because when it dries, you can sweep it out. That is completely done right there. Oh, I didn't do that one right there. Okay, next time. When you're done with all your tuck pointing, with all your mortar, with all your everything, wash it off and dry it off. You want this stuff to just stay good and remain good. Look at, that's our flower pots, our vegetable garden cinder blocks, but wash it off really good. I got everything in here. Everything is washed off really good, and then hopefully it'll dry before this rain. Weatherman been wrong all week. Today, watch the right. All right, people wonder why I have all plastic, because I paint the cars and all that stuff too, like hobbyist, not the best, but put that over there just so it could give it time to dry, because it's starting to drizzle. For one day, the weathermen were right, and not a good day for me.